Alright, so this time we're gonna get that 68 Falcon running, like I said in the last video. And behind the camera is my brother again, who should tilt the camera just a little bit more vertically, well, horizontally. And to get that running, I stole the fuel pump off of that to get this thing running, back when that was in 63. Look at that little cockroach. And I also yanked the distributor out of it, so I have to retime that. And a few other things I need to rob off of this engine, because they're going on 250 straight sixes over there. That's going into this thing with a C4 automatic to replace the engine that he stole and put in his car. Well, we put it in his car, but whatever. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's going to happen now. Taking the fuel pump off of this, then going over to the 68 and putting it back on, and checking out everything else to make sure it will fire later. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Alright, so over to the 68. Alright, so this is it. As you can see, the hood is really bad and the roof is not better. Not by a long shot. Now, this thing was parked in 77 and it is 68, so it didn't even turn 10 before it was parked. Now, I'll have to find the bolts that go to this thing. Where are the bolts? That's a bolt, but I don't think that is for the fuel pump. It's been years since I tore this thing apart, so I don't really know where anything is anymore. And my brother just tapped for this thing, but this is the clamp for the distributor. Oh, here they are. Those are the fuel pump bolts. And the fuel pump goes in that way. Yep, that way. And I was right in bringing that. Oh, crap, I need more things. Turns out I robbed pretty much everything that goes from the fuel pump as well as the fuel pump. So I'm gonna need to get that filter thing that's on the carburetor of the 170 and put it on this, which is actually a 200 instead of a, well, 170 or, well, 250. I think these things only had like the 170 and the and this 200 for engine alternatives back in 68 at least. All the first Falcon came out with the 144, which then turned into a 170 for, what was it, 63? Yeah, I think 63 was the first year Falcon with the 170. Not that that matters. Installing a fuel pump. Turns out to be really tricky. And cobwebs everywhere. And I just lost the socket. Turns out the extender is too long. Now this pipe goes there, just so it's not in the way. Now, my hand is still, it's still kind of handicapped from that angle grinder accident. I don't really have a lot of force in this hand anymore. Now, it's going to be kind of fun to see if this thing actually wants to start up afterwards. Just, well, it hasn't been running since, what, 2000 and I don't want to say 14. That's when we drove it to here and just parked it and just started robbing parts of it. So we'll have a look, see how long it takes for this thing to fire up. I'm gonna give it some gas just straight down the car before I try, and I have a pretty big battery, so it should get the power it needs to start after sitting for so long. Now, while I put that fuel pump in, my brother ran to get the filter thing that goes in there from the pipe. And actually here he is. And he's got it in his hand.
And I forgot the sock.
I don't need one. So, yeah. Your turn to grab the camera again.
Yeah. I thought so.
Get this thing installed. Now, whenever you fiddle with fuel stuff, don't just hand tighten things, but I know this carb leaks like a sieve anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And, well, it might catch on fire, because I noticed that there's no exhaust manifold here. I think we robbed that too and put it on the 170. So this is going to be fun. Well, anyway, before I put this on, I kind of need to get the distributor cap back on where it's supposed to go. And to do that, since I stole the distributor once, I kind of need to put it on the timing mark so I can actually time the thing. Thing is, we just gotta hope this thing still turns sober. So we'll try. And we'll hope we can even find the timing mark. Oh, well, it turns until it comes to a dead stop. And then it turns again. Might have a kind of stuck valve or something. Where are the timing marks? That is a very good question. Where is the timing mark? I must have turned at least one round right now. Oh, it's there. I found it. No, I didn't. Fail. How far am I going to have to turn this thing around to find a timing mark? There's no timing mark on here. Is that thing? Yeah, it's got to be that thing. Yeah, there it is. And 0 on this thing is where? That says TDC. And there, I'm on TDC. Now for the fun part. Where does the distributor sit? That's actually pretty good. It's not too bad, really. Let's just hope it's in the right way, not 180 degrees off. Well, we're going to find out anyway, aren't we? Now, the clamp for that is over there. And we'll put this around there. Let's say that it's about adequate timing. That's how you time things, isn't it? Just kind of eyeball it and say, yeah, that's good enough. Especially for a ancient old 200 straight six that takes fuel out of the carburetor. If I could only get that bolt in, I would be so happy. Where does he go? Where does he go? Oh, for God's sake. And it caught threads. There you go. And I also noticed that the fuel line that leads to the fuel pump is on the ground, which is always a good sign. Now that is not exactly good enough yet to actually try to start it, because that distributor is just going to move around. Get some clamping down on this thing. Might work. If the dipstick tube wasn't in the way. Still not good enough. Come on. There you go. It's pretty well in there now. I can still move it sort of by hand. Now, all 6 plug wires are on and in the correct order. That means we can try to wrap this thing. It's supposed to go...
That's very tight fit, just so we know.
Old crappy hoses. Well, it might have been a hose, now it's just a plastic tube. If it wasn't for the fact that this thing had fuel in it like 15 minutes ago, I would have put my lighter to it and heated it up. But it had fuel in it, so I'm not going to do that. And also, multi-tools are really handy sometimes. Especially when you forgot to bring a screwdriver to do the hose clamps. Well, we'll try to get this thing back on. And the horses are screaming. Yep, that's good. That's on there. And I might need to pull a couple of plug wires off again. Oh, clips. Yep, you kind of need to put the clips onto the distributor cap as well. I really do blame staying up all night for forgetting that. And, oh yeah, seeing this thing? It's the carburetor, well, yeah, return spring. It's gone there, and then it's just hooked to a thick piece of steel wire or something that's just wrapped around one of the head bolts. That is genius engineering right there. Now if this was a Chevy, I would have thought that was factory. But I know better than that. If this thing would just catch threads as well. I'm having a real problem making things catch on threads today. How do we angle this thing to make it actually grab a hold of that? Maybe. I think it might have caught. Try to angle this thing. Alright, so now I've got that hose on that was on the ground. Put that back onto the fuel pump. And I got that metal pipe, steel pipe going down to the other end of the fuel pump. So now it should be getting fuel as soon as, well, it pumps it up from the gas tank. And the fuel in it might not be good or usable in any way, shape, or form. So we'll go get the battery and that little mustard bottle of gasoline to squirt down the carburetor. Maybe we should remove all the cobwebs from the carburetor first.
That's probably a good idea.
Might be.
Think so.
And also, it might not matter. I will do it.
Yeah.
And when this thing starts, we'll just move forward. And we're going to get the Land Rover to pull the trailer forwards with those 2 slant sixes. To put the slant sixes onto the tractor because we have to use the trailer later today. And we can't just haul around 2 slant six lumps everywhere. So, let's go get a battery. So, we got the battery. It's a big 95 amp battery, so it should have enough power to start this thing pretty much no matter how long it's going to take. And of course that bolt just turns around. Of course. Why wouldn't it? And there's a mustard bottle here with fuel in it. I kind of used it a couple of times on the Granada and pretty much on everything else I need to squirt fuel into. So that bottle is becoming sort of a channel regular. And the nut seized. So we'll clamp down this thing, and should probably clamp down the positive one as well. And then I'll grab the camera and see if we actually have some power to anything in here before we squirt fuel down it and try to fire it up. I'm guessing it's going to be loud, considering there's no, well, exhaust. The exhaust there, all the way back, is just not the manifold bit. And we should also remove all this. Now, if I could just get unstuck from the car and grab the camera, we'll go inside and see what's what in here. More cobwebs. Perfect. And it also looks like a mouse has been in here. Anyway, we'll turn the ignition to on. And there is power because the starter worked. Although I don't know if there is power to pretty much anything else in here. There's also a remote starter button, I just realized, because I turned the key and it went turn on that, and this button also goes to the starter. So, yeah. Well, we'll figure out if this thing works now. I should probably turn the ignition back off just in case. Oh, and if anyone in America is wondering why the speedo reads 200, it's because it was sold new in Europe. And that is kilometers an hour and not miles. Although a 200 mile an hour speedo on one of this would have been kind of awesome. I don't think it's going to reach 200 with a 200 straight 6. But anyway, so if my cameraman will grab the camera again. I'll squirt a little bit of fuel just straight down the float bolts. And I'm pretty much missing the vent tube altogether. And this is just squirting fuel everywhere down the carburetor, and it might backfire, and it's going to be fun. That's going to make a good video. I might even make a good thumbnail if he holds the camera right. Which he might. So, we'll see if this thing wants to fire up now. Alright, so
It shot sparks.
well, it did try. Where? Positive?
Yep. Just.
Well, it did try to fire as well. And it leaks out of the accelerator pump. Told you it leaked fuel. Now we'll just do this again. Try to fill the float bowls a little bit more. Well, float bowls. It's just one float bowl. It's a single barrel Holly. It's not going to be float bowls. If I could actually get a good enough amount of fuel into the float bowl, this thing might actually start. And it's going to take some cranking to actually get fuel from the fuel tank up through the pump and then into the float bowls. considering how long I use every time I try to start the Aspen, because it just doesn't get started more than like once a month. And every time I have to crank it for like, yeah, probably a minute solid before it actually fires. So I'm thinking if I just fill the float bowls up before, it might actually run. Yeah. Probably should manage to start on that. So we'll try again, take two.
Every time you turn the ignition key, it shoots sparks from right there.
Bad connection on this home. Oh, that was warm. Oh, no wonder it's warm. Well, I think we should take a little break and let that cool off a little bit, and also try to fill the float bowl a little bit better. So we'll cut back and we're ready to try again.
Alright, so, well, I've checked, we have spark, and it is getting fuel because it's just a geyser out of the accelerated pump. So we're gonna have to do a little bit more checking around here, see if we can find the problem why it wasn't want to start.
But it did shoot, well, it did try to catch a little bit on the first go there. So we'll have a look at what happens here.
Alright, so now we've got the blazer hooked up by jump leads to the battery because it was starting to drain the battery. And I went through it, pulled the spark plug, and it had spark on that. And well, it was still dry, so it wasn't getting gas. Squirted more gas down there and while he was trying to start it. And it did try. So now the question is the distributor 180 degrees out, or is it just that it needs more cranking before it actually wants to fire on the fuel it's getting? So, should I pull another plug wire and see? I'll do that. I think I'll do the compression test thing with my finger and see what happens. Alright, so I think I got it figured out now. The distributor was clocked a couple of degrees wrong. So we got number 1 down here, and when there was actually, when the number 1 was on top of that center, the rotor was over here, which is number 3. Which is completely the wrong order to fire a straight 6. Because these things, I think these fire in 1, 5, 3, 6, 2, 4, I think? 1, 3, yeah, that might be it. Now, I had to go get a bigger set of jumper cables, because, well, wasn't really getting enough power through those skinny little things. Alright, so now we have pretty much everything where it's supposed to be, I think. So we got the start booster on, because the Blazer with jump cables aren't really the best thing. Just spending gas before it'll charge that big battery. So, give it a shot. Maybe some gasoline. There you go. Finally runs. Well, it ran. It has a little fuel delivery problem, apparently. So, we'll get this thing to run properly and drive it up front by the garage, and so we can have a proper look at it. Well, there it is. Now, I didn't end up driving back here. I had to tow it with the Land Rover because when I started up, put the clutch in, oh yeah, flat tire. Oh, sorry, hiccup. Put the clutch in, try to put it in gear and it wouldn't go. So I stopped it, went up front, put it in gear manually, and tried to start it, and no! The clutch was stuck. So we just towed it back here with the Land Rover, and on the way down here we just put it in reverse and put the clutch in and just let it wear itself loose, which it did. So now it's there, ready to have its roof and hood fixed. Along the same time that this thing gets its rear quarter welded back in, and get both primered and ready. Anyway, that'll be it for this video. It turned into a bit longer. Oh, sorry again. Turned into a longer one than I thought it would. I hadn't really counted on it being this difficult to get this thing to start. So, oh, for sake. I hadn't really counted on being that difficult. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Also, check out my brother's YouTube channel. Link is in the description. And, as always, hiccups are bad. Take care.